What's happening? Have you heard of Christy Mixie? I'm the bad guy. Our first foreign movie review is here. And our movie review is this movie was done in Korea. And Asia is good for good horror movies. This is not exactly a horror movie. I mean, you won't be scared watching it, so that's what I kind of consider horror. Uh, okay, so this movie takes you like 20 years ago, where this guy here, he had a crew, and they was doing an experiment on, I don't know what exactly they was experiment on. That they wasn't fish, but they was underwater, testing something out that was floating in the water, and it was kind of small, real small, and it kind of like they glow too underwater. Whatever it is, they was experimenting on it, and things got bad. So they fast forwarded to the present day, where you see the other two characters and their crew. They were having a bit of a malfunction. They was trying to get the pipe together, and it was leaking oil too. So I'm talking about the whole rig was moving, kind of like it was tilting or whatever. And this chick who happens to be the main character, she was there. She was I think they show her like on a top floor or something, or she was on a roof or whatever, and she jumped down to floor level to help the guys. Well, she didn't really jump. She kind of jumped on a rope and slid down. uh, and she was taking some bumps and bruises. She was taking one hit to the back of the shoulder, which would probably immobilize most females. Uh, but it didn't stop her. I mean, she took something sharp back here, and you could see that her back shoulder was starting to bleed really bad, and she was still able to move over to a water valve and just started tightening that bitch up. And I don't see that done by a female. I don't care how tough she is. And later, they did give her a nickname. They call her Hard Ass. I thought they could have done better with the nickname. So later, they show her getting stitched up. And they did show some femininity in her, because she was sitting there getting stitched up and she was screaming like a female. And she also had like something in her mouth to muffle the sound. Uh, so later, the guy shows back up. Apparently, he's like the uncle to everybody on the rig. So he came back. They had like a quick cookout, and then they was talking about their Medal of Honor, which was their scars. One guy had a scar on his was on his leg. One guy had a scar on, I can't remember, but the chick, she had a scar on her back, on her lower back, and it looked like she was attacked by a jellyfish or something. uh, but anyway, it's turned out that whatever the uncle was experimenting on is killing people one by one on the ship. So he confessed to the team that it was him who created the thing, and he killed uh think, hard ass best friend. She said something about she's gonna tell the crew what he did or whatever, and he was begging her to let him do it himself. And I guess she was gonna run off, and he threw her off the balcony or whatever they were standing on, and she was landing like on this crane that hard ass was sitting in. She was sitting in it. She was looking at this picture, and all of a sudden, she landed on the window upside down. Uh, so he confessed that he killed her. So the thing is back to killing people. I mean, whatever this thing is kind of unreal. It's sensitive to fire, very, very, very sensitive to fire. And they was hitting it with fire, but it didn't do anything but kind of, I wouldn't say mutated, but it had a different form. Maybe the flesh was burnt off or something. And it was down to those three that you see on the cover. And I think the guy that was responsible for it was impaled by something. And the monster kind of picked it up. And the guy flicked a lighter and threw it at him. And upon setting it on fire, it was setting him on fire too. So the monsters kind of took off and ran. And I think something was attached to her boyfriend's leg, and it dragged him along with them. And the thing jumped off the rig into the water, and to douse it out from the fire. But apparently the boyfriend didn't go into the water. He was like barely hanging. No, he was swinging. Yeah, he was swinging. Which was kind of weird because she looked down there for like a whole minute, and then all of a sudden, dude called her name and he was swinging where she could see him. So, I'm trying to get through this as quick as possible. I mean, it wasn't much I can say about this movie, but I can probably break down the story a lot faster and the main character. So if you can pretty much get over the CGI and the green screen, it'll do you a lot more justice. But fortunate for me, I can get past the green screens and the CGIs. I mean, the CGI isn't bad. The CGI isn't bad, but the green screen is pretty noticeable. But it's a overall great movie. The ending happens to be. I think she kind of set a trap for that thing because the thing wasn't dying. They hit the thing with everything, and it went down to just her and the monster, and she was already hurt. I think she failed. No, I think I'm going too fast. But I think she was hurt, but she had to use a motorcycle that she was racing with her boyfriend early in the movie. She was using the motorcycle to lure the monster to the spot where they was in the beginning of the movie when they was trying to connect the pipe. So she used the motorcycle to take the monster to this trap that she had in mind, and it took a lot of struggle getting there because that thing was after her. I mean, it will fall on its face and get right back up and continue running while she's on her bike. It's just how intense that scene is. So when she got there, I think she had to climb to the top and swing. And when she swing, I think she had to let go and fall or whatever. And when she fell and landed, I think she kind of injured herself. And unfortunate for the monster, when it landed on the it landed in the trap that she had set for, and I think she had to pick up a remote, and she have to hit this button for the thing to come down and drill on the monster. And surprisingly, she did it with one or a few tries, because throughout the movie, they was trying to get that thing working, like all through Act 1. And I think they showed some on Act 2. Or I don't know if it was Act 2, but they did show it one last time where they all stood together when Hard Ass had it in her hand. So upon defeating the thing, I think there was a rig set to blow. And she was walking pretty slow. And here's what I was talking about, the green screen and CGI. Like, she was limping with the explosion behind her. I think the explosion was like I'll say like 30 feet back, but it wasn't enough time for her to be staggering. That's what I'm saying. So later, it went to her on her motorcycle taking off, which was strange again, because she was supposed to have been blown to pieces because she was staggering to get to the motorcycle. And then when it was blowing up completely, she was taking off on the motorcycle. So I think she took the bike off of the cliff and she ended up in the water. I don't know if she swims somewhere or she took a lifeboat, but she had shot a flare and it was recognized from one of the guys in the helicopter. And that was pretty much it. So, I mean, the movie is not bad, but when I seen it, I would probably say back in 2012 or 2013. I don't know. I don't remember it was Crackle or Netflix when I seen this movie. And when I first seen this movie, I was watching it with my niece, and I think she was enjoying it too. And she's not the type to watch a lot of things I watch, but that one she was into. So yeah, I do recommend this movie. I actually had to get it off of Amazon because they're not selling this in stores, not where I am. So I had to order this online. And there's a lot of Asian movies that I'm trying to get, but they're not there. There's a lot of them, and quite few is hard to find because they're that damn good and people be ordering them. So, yeah, the movie review to Sector 7. That would do it. That would do it. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I need to say before I turn off this video? Doesn't seem to come to me right now. I guess that's it.